So yeah, so far within the project, I've kind of talked a lot in my blogs about what I've done in terms of the UX UI and my role as a designer within the project, but I haven't exactly shown you what I've been up to. I thought today I'd kind of quickly run through what I've been doing and try to show that in the easiest possible way. I won't go into too much detail as I've already talked quite a lot about it, but I will add in a few thoughts off the top of my head. So the way I kind of see this product, or so-called product, and it's kind of, in terms of the UX, is actually quite simple in that I don't see kind of the user experience aspect of this project solely being centered around the website. I see it as more of, this is a product that is one element within the wider campaign. So it's more how it works together with the other media within the campaign, and how we kind of have directed people from, say, a bill sticker or an Instagram post, and kind of the language that, or the narrative that we've created to lead them to our product. That's all part of the user experience as well. And so while on the site it might seem that it's quite a basic experience, I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. It's kind of, simplicity is a good thing, and kind of what we're trying to do here. So I won't go over these are the kind of wireframes that we started off with, and I'll kind of explain them with the UI, just so I'm not doing things twice. So yeah, went through like the whole standard wireframing process. So we got like our desktop version, our mobile version, and then from there it was kind of, we had a bit of a play around with branding, although and we quickly realized there were some things that just simply weren't going to work. We're going for that kind of comical kind of vibe. Yep, I'll keep going so I don't get confused. So there was a lot of just playing around with how to present different things, particularly text and stuff like that. But I think probably the best thing I can show you is actually just the finished version of it. So let me take you to... Okay, so basically the main interactive aspect within kind of the site is this all happens within this window here. So this is kind of the window that you first see on arriving to the site. And so it's kind of hard for me to show through an XD prototype, but this here essentially would be an animation of existing people's generated situations with their tag, obviously. And the word highlighted in red being the one that they've input. So if we go get your excuse, so you'd end up with something like this. So you end up with a situation with two blanks. You can either re-roll for a new situation, you can add your Instagram. And basically what would happen is once you click on one of these boxes to enter your word, the other one would come up with like a little loading icon to represent that you can't use that box, and that will generate the word for you. And so from there, be generating your excuse. And after a short time, you'd end up with your excuse. So yeah, nah, but I gave blood, so it's okay. And so from there, you'd be then presented with what the actual project's about with donating blood. So the idea is that kind of everything up until this point is very subversive. You don't really understand what the kind of context of the project is, and then from here onwards, you're meant to understand it. So yeah, and that kind of flows nicely into this. So if you can think of the whole experience as, the way we've thought about it, is a kind of like as a storyline, as opposed to how you, on a conventional website you might have a menu that kind of allows you to kind of quickly jump to these different areas. We don't really want that to happen, because it kind of requires the interaction in the first, or the experiential part of the campaign, which is this generator, and you're using that to understand kind of the rest of the problem. And so that's kind of why we've purposefully made those decisions to leave out kind of those standard things. And it's kind of important to remember that this isn't it's not a normal website. It is what it is. It's a generator. So yeah, that leads into this. So this would be where we'd have kind of external links to New Zealand Blood's website. Not sure exactly of the presentation of all of this stuff, of course, but you'd be able to search for a donation location or book an appointment. And basically, it's the idea behind this is to just present as much information as possible, so that there are no excuses as to why you don't know how to do something or where to do something. And then the rest of the site is basically links to our existing kind of social media and digital media campaigns. So in that sense, it's quite basic. And I think it's a very achievable goal to build something like this within the next 6 weeks. And so yeah, we also have kind of a mobile and tablet version here. I won't go through the whole thing for you, but yeah, so essentially it's the same experience, just adapted to a mobile kind of size. And I don't know if I've talked about it previously, but how we plan to do this is to essentially make 3 different style sheets for desktop, mobile and tablet. Whether or not we get around to maybe the tablet or the mobile one, it'll depend on how long it takes us to do the first one. And obviously, if this were to go live, we think that the mobile version of the site would be probably the most important, due to the fact that majority of the target demographic would spend or be interacting through their phones, as opposed to a desktop site. So yeah, kind of questionable as to how far we'll get it in terms of these 2 versions of it, but yeah, we have thought about that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of it for what we've got so far. It's a little bit hard for you to kind of picture some of the steps in between these kind of frames, but yeah, I think this is a pretty good and easy way to explain to people visually what we're planning to do, and the kind of experience we're kind of trying to create, basically. So yeah, signing out.